I'm going to start out with a few questions here, but I want to let you guys know it's the first time we're ever doing this. There's going to be a mic. I don't know if this is stage right or stage left, but over here, my buddy Chris in the back, our manager, is going to turn on the wireless mic when it comes time. You guys will just line up, and then we'll rapid fire some questions in a bit. But I did want to start by asking you guys. I read somewhere that this movie originally, when it was developed, maybe wasn't going to be animated. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, we wrote the first draft of the script in 2012, and the idea of like, hey, let's write a movie around like having a space base was basically like, oh, if it's a space base, it's all basically one location, and we can like kind of green screen everything, and it's really simple backgrounds and everything. And then we wrote it, and we were like, all this stuff on Earth is really hard to do. There's a wedding scene in this, and a car chase, and a rocket launch, and so and then it went through a lot of different iterations. There was a point where we were pitching it to we pitched it to people as like, hey, you're going to make this movie, and no one was interested, and pitched it to when the sort of
Quibi, can't remember.
Quibi, it wasn't Quibi, it was Go 90, I think. We pitched it to them as like a web series so there was a version of this script where it was like 10, 12-minute little pieces. And then finally, when COVID hit, the idea of all this stuff came together. It's like we had all this time because of COVID. Trevor was working with Sevan on his Disney shows, and Sevan was doing effects, and Sevan has this animation studio. So we had this time, and then we started kind of doing these streams more, and so we had this way of making some money. And Trevor went to Sevan and was like, "How much?" And this sort of $300,000 price tag got thrown out there. It was basically Sevan came to us with a menu of hey, for this much it can look this good. And we were like, no. And then he kept on going down and down. And then, and so that's how the sort of crowdfunding animated movie Mars came to be.
Yeah. And how does it feel to be able to just take it around the country now and take it directly to the consumers and hear the laughs in the room with the people? Was it always those theatrical? I know we just heard theatrical wasn't necessarily always the plan, but how does it feel now that you're doing it? It's a weird Chris Farley show question. How does it feel to be in the room with people laughing? But
delicious laughter.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm actually used to that. I do a lot of Channel 101 stuff, and it's every month we make a new thing, and then there's an audience. It's live, and you get to hear the reactions. And
well, if you're I'm so used to just people laughing at everything I do. It's old news now. Yeah.
But yeah, the theater experience is definitely something I love about filmmaking, and it's great to be in the audience and just to hear different. This audience actually laughed way more than every other audience we saw. This was a great audience.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is it bums me out when thinking about the state of this industry, because I love going to the movie theater. I love the experience of going to the movie theater. And I feel like we're so lucky that we get to show it at a movie theater. This is the fucking best, guys, right? Being at a movie theater with
best case
people.
scenario.
We're so lucky that we get to do this, and that it's not just something where someone's this is going to be on Tubi.
Yeah.
And people can watch it. Yeah, I'm so glad it's not hey, this will be on people's cell phones. And that people get to actually experience this together and be hey, oh, this part was funny, that part was so fun.
Yeah.
Hey man, you have a great laugh.
I would love to see it have a life. We play movies here on a monthly or every 2 months basis type thing, our Hundreds of Beavers and some of these indie movies that have come out recently, comedies. And I would love to see it have a life like that, and maybe we'll run it every couple of months here if you guys tell your friends how fucking funny it is.
Yeah.
That would be great for us.
And that's the other thing is like is this process is so long, and like there's always these points where I have these like days, and like my wife will be like, well, it's done, you pretty much, and I'm like, it's never done. It's never done. And this is part of it, is like getting people to get excited about it and getting it to bring it to this awesome fan base that like how many people saw their names in the credit here? No one? Okay.
That's
all right. So you guys,
that's a first.
It's kind of a good thing,
This
though.
is-
You know, it's not
so I
just
guess
the
you guys
people who
just
gave.
paid admission tonight.
Yeah.
That's all you paid.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was cool, like touring around and getting to people who like donated money to have this made, like get to see it. And I think it's so cool that this is so crazy that no one here donated money, and you guys are all just seeing it because you want to see it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because you're not like, hey, I paid money 10
Right.
years ago. Where the fuck is my movie?
They owe you nothing. You just
Yeah.
showed up. So,
That's so cool.
can we talk about obviously the animation aspect of it? You said they brought out a menu, and it looks like this, it looks like this. I saw there was 10 to 12 animators total, and 2 of which are you two.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, I just have absolutely no idea when it comes to the world of directing animated films. Can you talk about the process of the translation from maybe an early version of the film into what we see now, which is a beautifully and really cool animated movie?
Yeah. So, like I said, like Sam said, we had a menu of like styles and looks and, detail and low detail. For adult animation, sometimes you don't want it to look too simple because it'll look like a kid's cartoon, right? So you had to keep some level, and then we're like, well, how about we skimp on the backgrounds or whatever? So we kind of narrowed in the style. But I think we kind of, a lot of our animators they wanted to overachieve, so we overachieved the entire style. So if you look at the original menu, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
We actually spent almost double the price of the price tag, and took twice as long. And it seems like a lot of projects work that way. But yeah, we really plussed it up like early on. And Sam and I were in the animation team, and we had Sam come over and just see what we were doing after we were working with their money for the first few months. And I'm like, Sam, come over and like check out what we're doing so you can give us more money and have the confidence that we can make this even better.
Yeah, it was like it was done in the style of like it was used. We used After Effects to do it, and I was learning more with After Effects, and it was this sort of ragdoll keyframe animation.
Yeah.
So where it says like I animated, it's not like I drew anything. What I did is I like imported assets and like did it and positioned things.
Yeah, he did rotation keyframes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of my background at Channel 101, I did a lot of stuff like House of Cosby's and the early Rick and Morty pilot called Doc and Marty, and a bunch of other things, and Mondo Trasho, and it's like kind of a style that I developed because I wasn't really an artist either, but I knew After Effects, and so it's sort of just a style I developed back in early 2000s, which I guess is sort of like a internet style of animation from back then. So I kind of just like stuck to that, brought that to this movie because I knew that was like the cheap way of making a cartoon. And we just hired a bunch of friends of ours from Channel 101 mostly.
Yeah.
A lot of them were people that have learned how to animate the way I do for their own Channel 101 projects. So I'm like, hey, you know how to do this. You know how After Effects works. We'll just give you all the assets. I just need you to lip sync. And so we hired a bunch of our friends to get it done. That's why the list is real small because I jumped in a bunch. Everybody kind of wore a bunch of hats. So
My intro to Channel 101, which is where I met Sevan, was Skateboard Cop. It was this show called Skateboard Cop that our friends Wade and Kelsey made, and they both animated on this.
They both animated, yeah. So it is interesting to have rounded up all the people that you could sort of trust. Like they're not professional animators, but they could definitely move some keyframes around
and it's like animation and comedy. It's all like a timing thing,
Yeah.
So it's like good to know people you trust their comedic voices to like have their hand at that, and they found the jokes and like there are so many moments where it's like I was just thinking about that moment where Candace's first scene where he says he would save the baby.
Yeah.
The pause is like so funny, and that's all about timing. It's all about like pausing for the right length.
And a lot of and you said how does a cartoon get directed? It all starts with like the voices. We recorded all the voices, and it was during the pandemic, so everybody had to have their own. It was over Zoom. Everybody had to buy microphones, and we had to set them up. Take like an hour of a bunch of failures, and we had to re-record Darren and all this other stuff. And then you take those voices from there, and I cut together a radio play, and then from there we worked with storyboard artists and did a storyboard animatic. So it's like an animated storyboard, and then from there we just kind of started filling in each shot. So it's just really piecemeal, and a lot of it just kind of comes together with like low renders all the way up to the high render, and finally you get to see a movie after a couple years, because it's hard to see that trickle in and understand what's going on until it's done.
And if you're wondering, like, it was by the point that we were like that they were like starting to fill in those shots that Trevor passed away. So Trevor had his hand in the radio play, his hand in the animatic and everything. Yeah.
I think he approved the animatic like 2 days before he died or something, or like a week or something.
So it like if some people look at this and they go, oh, it's great that he finished his lines, and it's like, no, he like by the time we did that, he like got to see a good chunk of like what this became. And that was the other crazy thing, was like going back to this and with this whole like what would Trevor do attitude of this, like trying to like, because it's it's not done when you're looking at it. You have to figure out like, how do I get everything to work? And there's definitely some stuff too where it's like the hard part was like, what would have Trevor wanted? And then you also have to be like, would Trevor have been right? So that's a tricky thing to like parse out. Yeah.
Having seen it so many times now, and having gone through the long and arduous process of making it, is there a single bit that still absolutely you're the most proud of in this movie?
The one joke that nobody laughs at is Kyle's. He's at the dentist, and he's like, "It's just a mirror. It's not going to hurt you." And then it cuts out to a wide, and he chokes him with the mirror, and it hurts him.
Dr. Simpson pats him on the back.
But I think a lot of that is happening in a wide shot, so it's kind of hard to see that he actually hurts him with the mirror. It's one of my favorite parts.
I mean, there's so many things where I'm like as I don't know if it's because of the animation process, because it's like everything is like coming together and like kind of finishes. Like once you're like, all right, we're done. It's like, oh, this is all done now, and you kind of look at it and you're like, oh crap, it's all done. And it's all like one thing. But the moment that like climax moment of now like Cooter saying like, now it's time to let's have some fun or whatever. And then it goes and the music's all kind of like Matrix-y, and then Bashful gets shot in the head, and then it gets like Platoon tragic, and then he goes crazy, and it builds, and then the audio cuts out, and you go to the news, and it's like 367 people dead. I love how that came together, and I love the final product of that, and the package of the way the music builds, and the sort of
that was probably one of the. I think it's so satisfying for us because it was one of the last scenes we did, so we really we didn't watch that a bunch. So once it was done, like the whole movie was done, and I was like, that's why I feel like that turned out so well, because it was like the last little bit, and it flows so well.
And then the other thing I'm super proud of is the cut that we did. Is that like we did a screening with 50 friends of the movie, and
Got their feedback.
Just like got their feedback, and the next day we went to Sevan's, me and Zach, and we sat with him and we went through the whole thing, and we cut like
15 minutes.
We cut a lot out.
So the movie was longer.
Whoa.
It was like over 100 minutes, and now it's 80.
And like I think we found so much in that. And we added some stuff. We added like little things, like when Wimmy pulls his pants down in front of Candace, people at the thing were like, "Why does she have sex with him?" And then we were like, "What if we got Darren to just go like, fuck it," and it works, and it's amazing that works. And then there was this scene where Candace is introduced before, and it just kind of sucked, and it was flat, and I think like the balance of Candace was like a very delicate thing, and I think we like pulled it off, and it kind of gives the movie its core of like not just being like a bunch of dudes wrote a movie about someone's bitch girlfriend, you know,
an amalgam of all their bitch girlfriends.
Yeah, and so like we cut that other introduction scene, and like finally while watching it makes so much sense to me, because it's like, oh, like that scene sucked and she wasn't funny in that scene, and now we get to introduce her with, "I tricked you with a note," and that's the first, and it's so funny, and it's like, oh, we were being sexist by not thinking her character was funny. And now it's like I mean, like I think it's like
really hammering it on the nail on the head of
like
how
yeah,
bitchy she is.
And it's like yeah, as long as we like respected her character as being funny, I think that the sort of ethos of the movie gets off.
So there's 15 minutes to watch on the Blu-ray. All of it's there.
Yeah,
Nice.
Additional, especially the last scene, which is there was a credit scene that I'm sure Trevor would have kept that one in.
I don't know. You think it would have? It's a little weird.
It is a little weird, but it's. I'm teasing it because I think it's great. I think it's hilarious, but it's definitely, it ends on a weird note.
Yeah, there's funny stuff that we're like, this is funny. It just like, you know, it's like the sketch version we would have left stuff in, but like it's a movie, so you kind of have to think about like the whole package.
Yeah. Questions from the audience. You guys can start lining up over here by this microphone.
Yeah, line up like
Our
Comic-Con.
manager Chris is gonna turn on that mic for you, and we'll go one. Can I tell you guys a story real quick while they're lining up?
Sure.
I had we do a lot of rentals here. Private rentals is kind of how we make our money, and it was a private Catholic school that's in the area called Modern Day. Wanted to rent us out. And I was like, yeah, come by and I'll show you the theater. And there was like students and teachers, and I was walking them into this theater. I didn't know we were testing Mars during the time. And so we walked in, the line was like, listen up, twinks, or whatever, like, fuck you, or whatever. And I was just like, okay, Bobby, our projectionist, I was like, good job, man. But he had no idea. I just thought that was perfect. And we definitely are not going to do that rental now. So
Too bad it wasn't the God's not real part. Would have been great.
Yeah. Any of the religious stuff would have been funny, but it was just, that listen up, twinks. Yeah. All right, let's go. Gentleman in the Jaws shirt.
I'm the guy you were pointing out.
Laughing
Laughing.
guy.
Great laugh.
Laughing.
Yeah.
Thank you. How many passes did you have to make for the murdered Midwestern homosexual teenager bit? Like, was it always that? Or did you, like, figure out the gobbledygook of, like, how do you make this, like, horrific phrase into something that actually works when you, like, read it out?
It was, I mean, we thought of the horrific phrase first. We were like, oh, this would be like the most inappropriate name for something, and then like figured out the dumbest accurate. Like we figured out the bit of it. It's going to be an acronym, and then we were like, all right, what's the dumbest acronym? You know, you said robotic twice, and like
Xenoculinary.
we just kept on like throwing stuff in there, and the less sense it made, the funnier it made the joke.
And did you start with that one and then the Charlottesville one, like, come after? Or were you just like, just workshopping the worst sentences that you could say.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Charlottesville one, we were scraping the bottom of, because like the
Holocaust is exaggerated. That one, I'm certain first of the bunch.
I mean, it was the we came up with the joke with the murder Midwestern teenagers and was like, that's horrible, and then went to the Holocaust is greatly exaggerated as like, oh yeah, that's the joke we're making, is that it's this kind of point of view, and then yeah. I don't believe in any of those statements. I just want to make that clear. I know there's people like
we killed all the
videotaping
students.
here.
Yeah.
They're just acronyms.
Those aren't like dog whistles or anything.
Thank you for the question. Keep laughing.
Hi. So I noticed in the movie there was a reference towards the end with Bashful in the deer costume to a past skit, and now I'm wondering if there were more references that we didn't catch, and if so, which one was your guys' favorite?
Oh yeah. For the longest time, I didn't know Father Bride was in there.
Oh yeah. The sort of Pavarotti looking Trevor guy.
Yeah, that's great. The DVD, the Blu-ray actually reveals a lot of that. I think there's, the Grapus is in there, the Slow Walker, Slow Jerk. But what is the Slow Walker?
Like, I mean, I think the thing is that like we didn't put, and as the group, we didn't put any of that in.
Yeah, it wasn't
like,
written.
We just like showed up to see the animations, and like all the animators who were like fans of the show were like, oh, we put on these Easter eggs. We're like, cool.
Yeah. Luckily, some of the animators were fans, so they were just doing it and slipping it past me because I've never watched their show, so I don't know.
It's funny because we're just so not the people to be like, oh, they're going to be so excited to see the Grapist in this. We got to remind them we made a TV show once. Yeah.
There's that Miss March 2 reference.
The Miss March 2, thing I think is the funniest thing because like Zach is not happy about that.
No, he's not. He didn't like
I'm
that.
sure. Yeah, no,
I know Zach
does not like that movie.
One of Zach's biggest. He doesn't like part 2. You mean? The one note that Zach gave me, I remember the animator wrote like Toy Story in the Bible. Just like
Timmy was
instead of actual biblical scripture, and Zach was like, "What are they? Don't do that. Take that out." But yeah, there's a lot of random stuff, and it's mostly just characters from their sketches, or the Civil War and drug statue.
Yeah, that one's like pretty like in the center of the frame.
Yeah, that one's obvious. I don't know if there was anything else. I'm sure there's something that I don't even know.
There's the fisherman that the Jaws fisherman that Trevor plays. He's in there.
There's a robot.
Is that in the?
There's like a robot in one of the scenes. Yeah, it's a robot.
Yeah. No, just a regular one. R2D2. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
This is going well so far. This is a brand new format. Don't fuck it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass me in front of our guests.
Well, I just wanted to say I've been watching you guys since like, early 2000s when you guys were still on air, but watching from like the COVID live streams from South Sex Saturday, now being able to actually see the movie, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work. It's really, really awesome to see it with everything that happened. So again, just wanted to send my praises. I guess my question is, who was the hardest to like record? Was it like Timmy or was it Darren? What was harder?
It was Timmy because that guy is a diva. Like he just like you could not talk, and he was like, "Fuck you." I'm the fucking baked beans guy. I know what He couldn't give him any notes. He was awful. He's like would spit at us, and we're like, we're not even in the same room as you, dude.
We're over Zoom.
Spitting on your computer camera, man.
Typical Timmy.
Well, the hardest part was Darren, actually.
Yeah.
It was, I think, because his microphone was turned all the way up.
He was so
Like,
hot the whole time.
The gain,
Mic was so
yeah.
hot.
The gain was all the way up. And we re-recorded it, and for some reason it still kind of was, it was better, but it was, I don't know, we used it anyway.
Was Darren the one that was like just like had the blankets over him?
No, he made like a big pillow fort cake.
He made a
or
big
something.
pillow. Okay, yeah.
No, I think that was Zach did that. Zach put like a blanket over him, and then you did it at one point.
Yeah, I had the actual like wall thing though.
Oh yeah, you had a better setup, yeah. And then Trevor drove over to Zach's house to give him like a pop screen thing during the recording. It was pretty. That's on the Blu-ray too, actually. A lot of that we put like over an hour of us recording voices, video on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got to pick up that Blu-ray.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Sevan, where is the most available place for the Blu-ray?
Oh yeah, you could just go to wkukmars.com and it'll you can find it on Amazon too.
And I'd say the best place to order it is through mediaocd.com.
Which the link is on there on the other side too.
Yeah.
The Media OCD side. You get the slipcover, right?
I think yeah, you should if
it's like a deluxe
available.
version.
And that like the cool thing about this movie too is that so we premiered this at Tribeca and we didn't really find any like immediate buyers or anything like that. But our friend Justin, who's been our friend since college, who has been into anime ever since then, and like started Anime News Network and like sold that off before it got like really big, and he started his own Blu-ray label, but puts out animes and like import properties and stuff. And he was like, "Hey guys, I really want to be a part of this. What if I partnered with Synergetic and we did put this whole thing together?" And so it's a real family affair, the whole thing. So it's really cool. So Media OCD, support them, get Big Boob Busters from them, which is also available.
Slip covers. You're talking our audience's language there, I think.
Yeah, slip cover.
Next question.
Yeah, hi, congrats on the film. Really loved it, very funny. I wanted to ask about the writing, and maybe if you could share a story about writing with Trevor about any part of this, how maybe the writing had to change for animation. I'm thinking perhaps the Cooter's Mysteries sequence at the end there. That would be crazy to do live action, I would imagine.
Well, that was like one of like the last things to like where we really cracked. And like basically what happened is we did a writing retreat with the 5 of us in 2012, and we wrote like this like puke draft of the script, and it was like way different. And we had the idea that like they would go to Mars, and it would be this kind of like Truman Show kind of situation. It would turn out that they weren't on Mars, kind of thing. We came up with that idea, but it was way different. And then we wrote a bunch of drafts of it, and like still like wasn't our favorite. And like what would happen is like Zach, Trevor, and I were all living in LA, so we would work on some projects together, and then we'd be like, what's next? And we'd be like, oh, let's go back to Mars. And I would say like when the script became this version, we did 2 things, which is like we were writing it, and we thought the first act was like so fun with the car chase scene and the strip club scene and just like the cooter of it all. And but then we had this part where all of a sudden they get into outer space, they get to Mars, and it's different characters and it's different priorities. We're just following Zach's character up there, and we kind of had this realization like, oh, we need to bring Candace up to space. We need to have him trapped up there with her. She is the conflict. So like let's put that. And then we were like writing the end of it, and we were like trying to figure out where to go. And it was this thing of like, it was so fun that Candace came into the rest of it. I wish there was just like some way that Cooter could come back into this. And then the idea like got thrown out, and I remember like it was like thrown out like it was like a dumb idea. It was like, hey, what if we went back to the beginning and just saw what Cooter's been up to this whole time? And there was like this thing where everyone got like really excited. Where like the 3 of us were like, oh, and we could do this and this, and we could like, oh, he's just doing meth the whole time. and like the excitement that Cooter had was like the excitement that we wrote that part of it, because we were also on meth, and we had 7 twinks each of us. So meth, 21 twinks we're dealing with, and it was just so much fun to write that part. I came so hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I just want to start off by saying the Civil War on Drugs is like my favorite thing that Wise Kids has ever done, and I feel like Sam, it's really because it's where you shine. Like your chemistry with Trevor and that is just like that's like your shit, and so like, and I think that that's what makes it so great. Honestly, is because you finally get your dues like in that. Just for the record, just want to start that off.
Thank you.
I had read Zach say that this is going to be kind of the last Whitest Kids project that you do because it doesn't exist without Trevor, and so my question is kind of two parts. One is, do you guys have plans to work under a different moniker or continue to work with each other? And two, if Whitest Kids is done, why do you guys stream on YouTube 16 hours a day, all the episodes, and enable all the schizophrenics there to make like racist poop fart jokes and stuff like that? Do you guys make money off of that, or is that purely for our enjoyment, I guess, is my question.
The schizophrenics making racist poop.
No, the live stream that you guys play, because you guys play, you guys can watch Whitest Kids on YouTube like 16 hours a day. They play every single episode every single day. You do not need to give your Amazon your money or anything. So I just like, is that for our benefit, or are you guys going to continue to build on that? I guess is what I'm saying.
That is Shout Factory. They put that channel up that's like streaming it 24/7, which is really fun and really cool, and they've been really cool to work with.
Yeah.
As far as like, we don't have any projects like set up or anything for us to like keep working, but like, my whole thing with that is like, who knows? There wouldn't like, we know that like we wouldn't go like, hey, let's call this thing Whitest Kids, this other thing that we made, but like, who knows what's in store for us in the future? And like, we're like, when we started this, like one of the questions we got, or like when we've been putting this out, people have been like, hey, was it cool to like get back together to make this? And it was like, well, we never got back together. It wasn't like, hey, this is a new chapter. It was just like we were still doing our thing. And that's, even though like there is this like clear delineation line of like, this is, AT after Trevor.
Yeah.
It's still like the same, we're putting that same energy out in the universe. And I feel like kind of a responsibility more now than ever to like build fans and build awareness to this Whitest Kids thing. Because like not only like do I feel like I owe it to like Trevor, and like to like make that be like a known thing, all this cool stuff that we've made, but I feel like very humbled by the fans that we have out there and the kind of community that's built, and I want to do right by them,
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a really good last question from the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We had Peter Farrelly down here last year for a screening of Dumb and Dumber. He claimed he had never watched the movie with a crowd, or hadn't since the premiere of the film.
Oh, crazy.
And that he was like, that crowd was so hot in there, and they were laughing the whole time. And tonight, this screening reminded me of that screening. So,
cool.
Nice. Thank you guys so much for coming down. Do we hang out afterwards?
Yeah.
So this is the last thing in this theater tonight, and we're not rushing in a 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. screening. So Sam and Sevan said they would hang out if you guys want to chat after.
If you guys want to say hey or take a picture or anything, feel free. Or
This movie is so funny. It's so well animated. It didn't need to be this funny. It didn't need to be this well animated. And it goes super hard on a 33-foot screen like this in a theater. Long live cinemas. Long live comedy. Long live animated movies. And long live these two great filmmakers. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to you two for being here.
Thank you to the Frida Cinema.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Trevor.
Yeah.